We're live. Sweden, Austria women's division. Getting going, getting organized. Commentators running a tight ship here, as is the production unit. Ulti TV at Windmill 2019. The Swedes make way upfield.
This is the third round of Swiss draw play here at Windmill 2019. So both these teams trying to get into that elusive top 8 position as they work their way through the Swiss standings. Sweden here, working the disc against the Austrian zone. My name is Rav Vasudevin, joined by Stefan Rapazzo. Stefan, take it away.
For the time being with Stefan Rapazzo, we'll see how long I last. We may have El Shak checking in. But for now, the Swedes, Jensjo moves it on. Playing at midfield against an Austrian zone. Taking their time. Sandra. Jensjo gets it through the middle, gets a gainer, and the continuation looks to go the whole thing and slows the pace down. Grandel, dump. In end zone situation here, attacking, gets the up line, now on the doorstep, pick called, goal, will go back and do it again.
Sandra Lindqvist with the disc. This Austrian zone not giving the Swedes too much trouble. It's forced them into a lot of passes, but Swedes so far haven't had to take any risky shots. I've always had an open person and always found them, as Lindqvist looks to turn this point away.
Oh, right through the hands. Lindroth was there, got open in a small space, but couldn't put the wrist together and hang on to it. That one gives Austria a first look at a break.
Yeah, I just had to eat my words there. I thought Sweden was working really well against that zone. The last pass is all that matters, I guess.
It's only because you mentioned it, of course. Here comes Austria, gets a nice little break up the line. Silky with the disc. Centering. Hopper. Oh, bang, bobble, dropped. Gritch can't hang on. And Sweden get a short field to look at.
The wind right now blowing a little bit away from the cameras.
On the doorstep.
Sweden look to finish this up.
Can't find space yet. Engages, up line goes, but the throw is not executed well, and almost a contact with the corner on the other field there. Not much room between.
Austria doing a great job in red zone defense, like working all the way down the field. Sweden didn't have any problems, but right when they get close to the end zone, Austria really clamps on and puts the energy in, and has so far prevented 2 scores where Sweden was right on the doorstep.
Oh, what a grab by Gritch. Drop, put deep. Can't get there. Candela Fortri. Throw was a little too far ahead, a little too blady. Got to the earth nice and quick.
Silco Della Forti, definitely a player to watch this game, as you see her just out of reach of that disc. One of the mainstays on this Austrian side. I think she's actually Belgian, but been living in Austria for a long time. Plays with the club Mantis, one of the top players in Austria.
Sweden kick things off against a similar zone. Is the starting sequence. Great throw into space there, open things up. Grandal moves it on quick. Lindroth, dump. Break opens things up again. Grandal moves it along. Swedes looking good on the attack on the front foot here. Break to score, it counts. Maya Lindroth gets her hands on the goal.
She dropped one earlier on this point. She caught this one from Sandra Lindqvist. Great movement there for the Swedes. I do have to say, I think that zone that Austria is trying to put on Sweden is not really effective in stopping them. It's actually when they play the person-to-person defense that they're able to get the turns. So if I was Austria, I'd think about sticking with that, maybe a little bit further down the field, hoping to get those turns with an easier field position. But so far, Sweden able to hold 3 chances. Last chance made a count. And now we'll get a first look at the Austrian O-line as they come out. Scores 1-0 in favor of Sweden here in the third round of Swiss play at Windmill 2019.
pull is up and rolling. Floating down, rather. Throw to space, all sorts of space on the isolation in the middle. Wolfsteiner forwards up the line. Zenz engages, gets the upline continuation. Rottensteiner centers. Meisel, hammer, has the intended receiver. Wolfsteiner hauls in the goal.
Wolfsteiner, a player who played with Yaka last year, picked up on the Parisian side as her club team Box did not qualify for WCC. Another really big player on this Austrian side there. Really good movement from the Austrians, a much cleaner offensive hold than Sweden was able to do. Tallies things up 1-1 here.
One apiece, you're right. It was a cleaner flow. They did it in less attempts. The Austrian first look at the O-line looked sharp.
So I know a little bit, the only result that I do know of was that Sweden, just previous to this matchup, lost to the Swiss women, 15-11. Talking to the coach of the Swiss women, he told me that they went up 4-0 with an interesting defense, and then the Swiss coach decided, we're not going to show them that anymore for EUC, so they kind of evened things up the rest of the game because they're like, all right, we already know that works, so let's not let them figure it out before EUC. So that score might have been a bit further if Swiss kept up with their tricky defense, but went person to person, and Sweden able to trade off the rest of that game.
Protect the long-term strategy there.
It's not going to help you in Windmill, though. Windmill, you got to get every point you can, so that might hurt the Swiss later in this tournament, but of course their eyes are on Hungary like all these teams are, these two included.
Here they come. Sandra, dump, swing on the sideline. It's Robbins. Forward again to Tarn, puts it deep, floaty. It could be a goal if it's read and caught, but it isn't. Defense does just enough to get her spinning around, and it falls to ground for turnover.
I really like the D there from Carmen Krail. She went up early, even though the Swedish player had position, and forced the player to go up a bit more earlier than maybe she wanted to. And that's what that pressure is what caused that turnover. It definitely would have been an easy catch if she wasn't there.
Here come the Austrians. Pashinga kicks it in. That's Della Fortri. Fakes the big, then gets the under she likes. Lichka. Dump and swung. Meyer. Della Fortri. Puts it deep, has a receiver. Defense is closing the space. Does it effectively.
One for one there, almost the same exact play on both sides of the disc. Austrians giving it back to Sweden. And now Sandra Lindqvist is going to walk it up and see if she can marshal the Swedish offense all the way down this field.
Disc is in and caught, outstretched hand. Grandel into a corner, playing their way out. A lot of traffic, not a lot of cuts, but gets away with an opening. Holtman moves it. Jens Joe. Now the Swedes are moving well. Now the shot to end zone. Chases on too low, too far in front.
Turning into a bit of a marathon point here, Stefan, as Austrians get another shot at a break. Score is still 1-1. Both teams have held so far. Getting that first elusive break could be what turns this game in one team's favor.
Winning the marathon points early in the game. There's a nice break, but break for naught. It's dropped. Swedes look at a short field. Jensjo gets a nice cut. There's company though. Cleans things up, does Pashinga. She steps up to the line, puts it deep, will stay in, keeps her feet, pumps it to Della Fortri.
Thought she might have had a knee down on that sideline when she caught it, but
she got up confidently.
Sweden so far, I have to say, I'm very unimpressed with their end zone offense. They've been rushing throws, making unforced errors when they get close to that end zone. They need to calm things down, run an end zone set, because they've been doing so well on almost the whole rest of the field.
Centered to end zone. Swedes score.
Because I said it.
Strida gets the goal because Ravi said it. Turned the tides for him. You're right, they did have many opportunities there. We said they had a short look at the field 2 or 3 times there, but good to see they learned from their mistakes and got it in the end.
So still on serve, 2-1. The Swedes, of course, still having to make a lot more work of their offensive points than the Austrians. Austrians have had 1 offensive point so far, and I think it ate up maybe 30, 40 seconds of the clock.
Less than a minute for
sure. The 2 Swedish points have been probably closer to 5, 6, 7 minutes. Austria should feel happy about that, but they're going to need to convert some of these breaks when they get all these opportunities.
Pull is up. Meisel. Sensational throws out of Meisel to Zenz. Far sideline. Chuchma centers. Meisel winds up. Hangs on to the trigger finger. Now moves forward right on the line. That's gone to end zone. That's gone to goal. Chuchma with the goal from Ruthner.
That's another clean hold from the Austrians. Scoring without a single turnover. Looking much better than the Swedish offensive line so far, especially when it comes down to that end zone possession.
They're going to be fresher later in the game, the offensive unit for Austria.
That's something that Coach Davide Mori was telling his Italian U24 D-line last year when they had the good run. Here we're going to see that score again against the Americans, that his strategy, what he told the D-line is like, we're not going to get that many breaks, but just make sure their offensive points are long. Keep our O-line fresh. That's your job, is to make those defensive points long. We might get a break or 2, that's fine. Keep them long, keep our O-line fresh so we can score every time we get. And Austria definitely doing that. Their D-line making the points really long for the Swedes, and their O-line extremely efficient.
All set, it's tied up 2 apiece. Della Fortri pulling into a bit of wind. The wind is picking up. Della Fortri. It's going to sail out of bounds. Not quite. It does land in. Far sideline. Centered by the Swedes.
Austria coming out in a zone to slow the Swedish team down. Looks like they are exactly having that strategy. Trying to make sure this point is long, and eventually they can cause that turn, especially in the red zone.
Through the center of the zone there. Lindroth, Lindqvist. Swedes side to side. Making the zone go sideline to sideline, making them work. But nothing through the middle until I said it, and they get Lindroth again. Tarn. High stall count, and then just a dump off. Lindqvist. Jensjo. To Tarn. The 3 handlers working it back and forth. Get some upline action because I said it again.
I gotta say, the Swedish offense is very good against the zone. They're very patient. It takes them a lot of throws to get there, but they're not risking shots up until they get to the end zone.
That one picked up well by Grandel. Jensjo. Lindqvist. Gets a cut, looks for the break. Oh, it's there, but bobbled. Austria with a chance to break if they go the length of the field.
A little bit low of a throw, a little bit tough to catch. She had to kind of stop her cut a little early to catch that one. That's a tough grab, but not able to come down with it. Again, Sweden struggling in that red zone, and Austria now half field. This might be their best chance they've gotten so far to get a break.
Gritch centers. Continuation is there. Hopper. Now in the attacking zone. Open player. Defense is late. There for the goal, it's Gritch. Austria make the break look easy in the end.
You knew it was going to happen at some point. They did a lot better job there because the previous defensive O points, they'd had a lot of trouble getting undercuts and movement. At this point, they were able to get that movement going right away and eventually move it all the way down the field. Sweden looked a little gassed. I think after 3 marathon offensive points, eventually you're going to have a tough time playing D. So Austria definitely looking like the stronger side at the beginning of this game. It's still early days, but the way that Austria's O-line's been looking and the way that Sweden's O-line's been looking makes me think that Austria definitely have the upper hand so far. So Stefan, this is your first time at Windmill. What do you think of the experience so far?
So far, so good. I feel like it's just getting started. I mean, I haven't slept because I had the pleasure of staying up to watch my Toronto Raptors become NBA champions last night. And starting the day with no gas has been a very pleasant day as far as that goes. There's bands playing music during breakfast. You see everything set and ready to go. The cornhole, the games, the wall climbing, the fire pits. It's a spectacle.
There's some Ultimate in between as well.
Had some not bad games of Ultimate to watch in between. So it's kind of just got all the extras. And like I said, it's just getting going. I'm looking forward to this evening and to see what the tournament organizing committee has in store for us as far as entertainment goes.
It will not be boring as Sweden have to come out and another O point after getting broken, and Austria coming back into this zone again. Looks a bit different than the last zone they had. This is more of a 3-3-1 look.
Eklund, who dumps with pressure all over. The dump, bobble, slap away. Turnover, Keynesmeyer gets the hand on it in the end, and Paschinger picks up.
This is a different line than we saw from the previous Swedish O-line, of course, after these long points, and you wonder, that other Swedish O-line handled the zone quite well, whereas this one couldn't, and Austria able to get another break, 4-2 for the Austrians, and they're really looking strong and really looking fierce. And Sweden, look at the difference in body language. The Swedes, their heads are down, Austrians are up. They got to do something to get out of this hole.
They're rolling right now, the Austrians. They kind of used those long points. They got the momentum out of the first two, and then put some brakes on and really started putting the foot down, putting their footprint on this game. Austria, precise, concise with their throws. They're getting lots of space. I think the defense is loosening up because they've been taking what they wanted on the unders, getting very open on initiations. Pull, sails, Linkvist under. Eklund and Linkvist look for the 1-2, but go the other way. Who? Possession saving catch there. Linkvist. Austrian zone set and ready. Eklund wanted to go forward. Switches fields. It's gone too far. Floats overhead. And Austria.
Sweden just kind of falling apart right now under this pressure. I don't think it's a defensive pressure on the field, but the pressure of having been broken twice in a row, I think getting to the nerves of some of the Swedish handlers, making a bit more errors than we saw them earlier in this game. Of course, those long points not helping either.
Paschinger dumps. Lindla wanted to go around, dumps to Paschinger. Delaforte. Paschinger. Austrians collected thus far in the point, taking what's given. Delaforte again. Forward. Gritch. Dump to Delaforte all alone. Defense cannot keep up. Paschinger gets it after the big break. Goes the other way. It's floaty, but not floaty enough. Goes to ground for the turn. Here comes Sweden. Blades to Eklund, Della Fortri there, but can't get the Callahan steal. Linkvist hanging out behind the disc. Blades upfield there. Hovgod forward. Grandel continue. Shot for goal. Defense is all over it. Throw not enough on it.
Keeps sounding like a broken record, but it's solid flow from the Swedes all the way up till they get to that end zone, and they're just a little too risky with that last pass. I'm sure their coach will be giving them a lot of work on their end zone offense before they get ready for Hungary. There's a timeout now from Austrian side. Score is still 4-2 with the Austrians in the lead. 2 breaks up so far in this game.
Two breaks up. I feel like the momentum feels like they're further ahead than the 2 breaks even.
I agree with you on that one. It does feel like more than that. I mean, every single offensive point Sweden's got out there, they've had to get the disc back numerous times. They have yet to have a clean hold, whereas Austria's 2 offensive points have been perfectly clean, not a single turn, and not even really a pressured throw, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's very good of you, to be honest. We appreciate it, and we agree. The Austrians are sharp. They look sharp because they're fast, I think, too. Their first cuts are incredible. Their initiations are just spot on. They can find spacing coming under. They can find spacing going deep. And the Austrian handling unit can break at will.
We do hope you're enjoying this Ulti.tv coverage of Windmill 2019. We're having a great time out here in Amsterdam. The sun's out. There's a little bit of rain in the second round today. Luckily, I was playing that round. I didn't want to be on the commentary scaffolding back then, but
it wasn't my favorite round to cover. But still, there's still some ultimate. There's a rainy ultimate. It still beats working. It beats a lot of things, in fact, working by a landslide.
Just looking across the field on the other stream, if you're interested, you can put 2 streams on your computer at once. There's GB versus Ireland men's. The score's 5-5. That's always a tough matchup between the 2 islands.
I heard Ireland had a big upset and beat them here last year. Isn't that the case?
It was 2016. 2016 that Ireland beat GB in the quarterfinal rounds, where GB came in as the 1 seed in quarters and Ireland was the 8 seed. And GB got 5th after that.
Woo!
Ireland got 4th. Ireland was out of gas after that game.
That took everything to get the big win. Here comes Austria. Paschinger gives the dump.
Sweden with the zone of their own now, trying to stop this Austrian D-line offense.
Krail to Lindla. Paschinger crossing through the zone. Della Fortri, Paschinger. Open handlers the other way, back and forth. Paschinger again. Krail. Paschinger. Cooking through the zone, catches off balance.
Yeah, so far this zone has not really slowed down the Austrian offense.
And it's melted into an individual match defense now. Trying to set up the end zone. Going to center, Paschinger. She wanted a break, didn't happen, didn't come. Poaches come for the upline throw. Krail hanging onto the disc. Lindla. Paschinger gets the under. They're hanging out in the middle here. Gritch. Della Fortri. Shot to end zone. Della Fortri's there. She collects They score again, 5-2.
Great give
Austria.
go move there from Silke Delafortri, but that point to me belonged to Veronica Paschinger. She had the steady hands, was able to break through the zone at will, and was the primary reason why Austria had good work. And then when they transitioned into the person-to-person defense, she was the steady rock, as you see here with the disc now. No, sorry, that's Hemagric. But she was the steady rock that whenever they needed to reset, whenever things weren't working downfield, she was always open for the dump and always making a good option. So great, safe handling from Veronica Paschinger, and then eventually Silke Delafortri with the give-go move for the score. Austrians looking good, rolling, rolling, rolling. So far, Sweden have not been able to answer. 5-2 for the Austrians. Again, we are in the third round of Swiss draw here for this division. There will be 4 rounds today for this division, 3 rounds for the mixed. Tomorrow will be flipped. 5 rounds of Swiss draw before they go into quarters, where only the top 8 will move into bracket play. As Sweden, Austria in a completely different look now. So you're playing person-to-person defense on the handlers with a bunch of junk downfield trying to stop all the undercuts, not really respecting Sweden's long game right now. So far it's paying off, but now Sweden seem to have broken through.
Winding up there, waiting for it to happen, but now fires a laser through the middle. London God. Larsen gets a big gainer to no one there, though.
Bit of miscommunication. I think actually number 16, Lisa, could have caught that disc, but she thought it was for somebody behind her. So not quite matching up there. The Swedes, as Austrians look to stretch the field long. It's not going to be there, but it will give Sweden disadvantageous field position.
Swedes fire through the zone, find the empty space, and then throw it into the zone.
Great DI there by Andrea Zenz.
Meisel. Upliner, well read, well chased down. Shot for goal doesn't come, goes the around, does Ruthner. Meisel, there's the break. Oh, just out past the outstretched hands of the defense.
And Anna Hoflacher reels that one in as Austria are just running away with this one. 6-2 here.
Putting their foot down.
Austrian team made up of a lot of players from Mantis and Box from Vienna. Of course, a few players from Eye Catchers and the In Sisters, maybe some of the other top women's clubs around Austria. But I think the big core is those Viennese, those 2 top clubs, both very, very strong in Eastern Europe.
I had the pleasure of doing a Mantis game at EUCF in Wrocław. I can't say it right. Still, that one gets by me, but they were very impressive then. I believe it was a game against Seagulls that was a back-and-forth game. I remember the likes of Meisel and Delafortri specifically, but many of these names and faces look familiar, and they're obviously doing good things, whether they're in green jerseys or their national colors, but getting it done, and today very much so.
One thing I'm surprised from Sweden, we haven't seen too much yet of Sarah Eklund, the Eurostars player. Very, very strong, but has not really managed to make her presence known too much on this field. The Austrian defense doing a good job, maybe game planning to take her out of the game and putting it into some of the less powerful players on Sweden. But right now, Sweden, on the back of a number of breaks, are trying to stop Austria from running away with this half.
Linkvist will take it to the brick mark.
I think Austria is in that same look now. Now it seems to be a wall in front, trying to force a lot of swings in the back line, trying to stop all the undercut movement.
Linkvist going back and forth with their handling set. Playing the short stuff. Holtman gets a touch back to Linkvist. Reset, reset. Slow and steady. Faking the big one. Linkvist winding up now in the cup. Taryn, Linkvist, back to Taryn. Linkvist again, just chipping away here, Ravi.
This zone looking a little better than the previous ones I've seen out of Austria in terms of really forcing Sweden to slow down. Sweden was usually able to break through the other zones. Now they seem to have broken through, but can they continue it before Austria sets back up? Austria seems to be crumbling into person-to-person defense now.
But they made them work to get there. They'll be tired in their attack now. Or will they? The Swedes come in, engaged, goes around the back. Around is there, the bid is there, the catch is good, but the player's down.
I believe that will be a score.
Lindroth hangs on for the goal.
Maya Lindroth, one of the best players in Sweden. I really hope that she's not hurt. That's really be a disaster for the Swedish team. And of course, we just never want injuries on the field here in Ultimate. Get a replay here on this wonderful catch, though, that she had. Can't see if there was contact after the throw or what. But they are going to call that a goal, and it's now 6-3. Austria still in the lead. I think that was a clean hold from Sweden. That was the first time we've seen them score without a turnover, I believe. So looking a bit better against that Austrian zone. Once they broke through, they were made quick work of it.
Yep, finding ways, inch their way back in here.
So 6-3, Sweden looking a little better, but Austria has so far had very clean offensive looks. Sweden looking to slow things down with the zone. Also a similar wall. Really took Austria out of the pull play they were trying with that side stack, completely eliminated, so good on the Swedes for that, but we'll see if they can continue the pressure. Big throw now.
Receiver can't get her hands to it. Meisel wound up, Hopper bobbled. Swedes.
Unfortunately, that was a great throw from Meisel.
Big throw the other way. Two receivers there, one gets her hand on it. Shot to the end zone, that looks good. Sweden again, Larson with the goal, 2 in a row.
And that was Sarah Eklund with the assist, as we talked about her earlier on. Maybe her ears were burning, she had to get involved. 6-4 now, as all of a sudden the game seems a bit closer.
Indeed it does. Swedes respond.
We do have to say that was a basically pure execution error from the Austrians. It was just the drop, not really caused by the defense that Sweden was applying.
Simply capitalized upon.
So Austria will get another chance here. It's the first time they've been on the back foot of a break. So we'll see if they can stop the bleeding early and keep their lead. It can sometimes be hard to do that when you've been so successful for a long period of the game, to deal with the first mistake. We'll see how mentally strong these ladies from Austria are as they look to field this bricked pull.
Meisel has shown some fantastic throwing ability. Rottensteiner and Meisel. Now the other sideline. Wolfsteiner back to Meisel. Meisel gets again. Ruthner. And eventually back to Meisel. Wolfsteiner. Tick-tack, tick-tack. Then Wolfsteiner drops a bomb. It's Max. It's a second chance. Bobbled, caught on the second effort. You got to be kidding me. 2-3 chances at that. Gets a D on it, and it still counts for a goal in the end.
And that's Julia Hopper, the woman who bobbled the catch in the previous points, managing to get one back for Austria. 7-4 now the scores for the ladies in white, and they are 1 point away from taking half here. Game is to 15, but at 70 minutes there is a cap, and if the, regardless of what the score is after the point finishes after that cap, the game is over.
There you see, cleaning up the trash. Bounced around, bobbled. Second effort, third effort. Still counts the same.
It's definitely good defensive effort there by the Swedish defender. She really got her body under there, really got her hand on it, but when it macked in the air, I was pretty sure it was going to get caught the second time, and then when it macked off the Austrian player's hands, that was a bit shocking. But it shows you, it's not even windy right now, but in any condition, you've got to back up the play if you think you have a chance to help out, if you think something could go wrong. Plan for failure.
Don't plan for failure, plan for victory.
You know what I mean.
Here comes Eklund and the Swedes. Tim. Lundengard, Tim, Eklund.
Austria sticking with this 3-3-1 zone, wall in the front, middle line in the back, stopping undercuts, one person deep.
It's effective looking. Really making the Swedes wind up and succumb to simple 5-7 meter swing passes that are already covered by the time it gets there. Tim Eklund. Lundengard. No one there except the intended receiver. Now the shot for goal. She's got to turn on the Jets. She's got the Jets. Larson collects another goal. Sweden keeping it interesting.
Sweden doing a lot better the second half of this first half. 7-5 now the score. They did get one break earlier. We'll see if they can manage to get one more. Then I think we're really in this game. But so far they're still in a bit of a hole. Austria's still in the lead with very clean offense, and Austria does get offense at halftime. So if Austria can score this one and score the next one, that'll put themselves in a pretty insurmountable lead. It's a very key point here for the Swedes.
Here comes the Swedish pull. Tern rips it the length of the field. Out, in fact, over the cone at the front of the end zone. Meisel to the brick mark. Looking at his zone. Austrians get set. As you said, Ravi, big point for Sweden. They need breaks. Getting them early is better. Wolfsteiner trying to work in small spaces. Gets it around. Holflaka through the middle to Meisel. Chipping away, finding openings in the zone. Return to Meisel. Center right through the guts. Zone resets with a bit of time. Ruthner back to Meisel. Gets up. Wolfsteiner up line. Wolfsteiner for goal. Receiver's there. Defense comes, but strong hands for the goal. Andrea Zenz.
Very good catch there from Andrea Zenz. I really thought that there was going to be defense on that point, but as it is, Austria takes half 8-5, and they're going to get offense in the second half. Stefan, what do you think the Swedes have to do to change things up in the second half?
Throw the kitchen sink at it, try something new, try a different zone, go back to man. I mean, at the end of the day, they got to hold before they do anything. Well, no, they are coming out on D, so they've got to find a way to set the tone and get them working in a different rhythm. Change up the defense and see what you can do. We'll be back for that second half action, and don't go anywhere in the meantime. Second half action about to begin. Sweden sticking around in this one, but down by 3 and pulling to Austria to start the second half.
Did manage to get one break in that first half, but Austria's offense has looked very, very solid. Close to a D on that last point, but have to say Austria looking very, very good. Sweden trying to slow them down with this zone again. This is the same arrowhead 3-3-1, but Austria now looking to finish it off mighty quick.
Hopper can't squeeze it. Fades away into a turnover.
I really thought she had position there. I thought that was going to be a goal.
Yeah, she ran the route better.
See here on the replay, she slows up a bit, and I think she just misread it a hair. I'm not sure how close she was to that back line, and maybe she was trying to keep her feet in. Sometimes you got to think about both of those things. You end up making a little mistake, but Sweden with a chance here. If they can get this break, that'll be huge because 9-5 and 8-6 are two very different scorelines.
Different games. And we got a sub here by the Swedes.
Appears to be an injury sub. I'm only saying that because that's the only sub that's available in Ultimate. So.
Well deduced.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, Stefan.
That's the reason. Keeping it real, Eklund. London God. She goes to the other Eklund, Sophia. And Eklund again. The Eklund's getting touches. Sophia again here. Sophia again. Looking upfield, gets Sarah Eklund coming under. Eklund to Eklund all over the shop right now. And we get it again. Wants the dump. but now has an upfield, doesn't take it, goes deep. Eklund's on the chase. She's there, well read. She got behind Wolfsteiner. Took that one high. Eklund to Eklund, that point, Ravi.
Great point there by the Swedes. Their offense looked very solid. I thought that throw was a little more risky than it ended up looking. At the final moments, it was all Eklund all day. 8-6 now. Sweden answering with a break at the beginning of this first half, showing they're not out. That shows great mental toughness. It's hard going down like that early on in a game and sticking with it. But yeah, part of the Windmill formula is that every point counts, so that might be helping Sweden to not feel like, okay, even if we're not going to win this game, we still got to fight. And then if you keep fighting, sometimes you might be able to get back into it.
Pull the rabbit out of the hat. Prevent the other team from winning sometimes more than your own thoughts of winning yourself. Ireland evened it up behind us, 8 apiece.
It's always a close matchup, the Brits and the Irish.
Swedes and the Austrians here in the women's division.
If you listen to, I do a podcast called Eurozone. We had a prediction on Windmill. I had GB Ireland as my predicted final for this tournament. I think both of them are very, very strong. So that could be a preview of the final, which means you should keep it here because you're going to get to watch them on Sunday anyways.
Pashinga and the Austrians trying to tilt the field. Della Fortri gets it. Lindla. Keynes Maya. Austrians putting it through many hands. Pashinga. The little one upfield, Lindla. Della Fortri. Late to engage, gets the up line. Pashinga. Defense was close but not on. Over the head, the call for it. Thank goodness she heard and ducked. And the Austrians grab another goal.
Still looking very, very solid as ever. And again, they have turned it twice, and both times they've turned it, Sweden's been able to capitalize. So Sweden's D-line offense looking very, very good, or you could say Austrians' O-line defense not being able to get the disc back. And both the turns have been execution errors by the Austrians. So on the one hand, of course, that's still a turn. But on the other hand, it's not really Sweden causing pressure and forcing the turns. And we'll have to see if that's going to continue. But I do think I like Sweden's game plan. I mean, if they play person-to-person defense, Austria's going to shred that and score easily like they did the first few points. These zones causing them to make more passes, increasing the chances that there's going to be a little bit of unforced error. It's a good strategic play by the Swedish coach. And so far paying off. 9-6 though, Austrians in the lead. Though it was a bit slow going in that point. Sweden now going to have their O-line come out.
Trail sends the pull, length of the field. Lundegard. Sophia Eklund. Lundegard. Sarah Eklund winds up, still gives it on the second thought. Into goal, not quite on the goal line though. Catch is good, needs the continuation. Sarah Eklund gets wide open, the throw comes late. She catches it one hand, lefty, crafty, and counts for the goal.
9-7 there as Sarah Eklund shows her throwing prowess as well. Opening the field up there with that beautiful backhand in a little bit of breeze, I have to say. So very, very impressive from the Swedes. One of their best offensive points I've seen so far this game. A nice clean hold. And they're right in this game, Stefan. It's really impressive that they've been able to improve things after such a slow start.
Yeah, they've just kept hanging around, tweaking it a little bit, changing the defense, adapting to the zone they're seeing, and are just, not going away. Austrians still have the advantage on the tape, but they're definitely not going away.
Score is 9-7 right now. It is a game to 15 or 70 minutes as the wind starts to pick up in a big way. We'll see how that affects things as Austria, the wind is basically blowing into the camera now. Earlier this round it was blowing away from the camera, so things always unpredictable here in Amsterdam.
Meisel picks up and gets meters right away. Zenz, and then her pass gets knocked away.
I think that wind affected that pass just a hair as the wind settles down to allow Sweden maybe to come back into this game.
Linkvist asking her stack to come shorter. And then dumps. Jens Joe. Back to Linkvist. Centering, and she gets it back, or would
that
have.
An upside down backhand she tried for that little dishy pass?
Yeah, that was an upside down backhand dishy pass.
I'm not sure it's worth it to, you get power position on that, but not sure the risk is worth the reward there.
Let's see if Meisel makes them pay. The throw looks on point, but the defense gets there first. Tarn knocks it away.
That was not Frida Tarn's matchup. She peeled off the back of the stack, got a little poach block on that play. Good heads-up awareness.
Ooh, tries to fire a laser through the middle, but that gets gobbled up. High turnover count now. Austrians on the doorstep, and that time they pop it in. Further goal, Ruthner on the throw. Austria goes up and stretches it back to 3.
10-7 the score. Austria 5 points away from taking this one. Again, every point counts here. It's not just about who wins. These are two teams I think that are probably going to be on the cusp of that top 8 position later on in this tournament. So every point in this game could be the difference between making that top 8 or not making that top 8. That's where you want to be so you can get into bracket play after 5 rounds. Otherwise, you have to settle for 9th as a maximum placement.
Austria set to pull. Sailing. Sophia Eklund. Londongard. Playing in their own end here. That one gets too far in front, and Austria have a short field for a break. Pashinga. Centers Della Fortri. Shot for goal. Help defense is coming. Everybody's coming. Misread at the final end of that stack.
I think she is going to call a push in the back. I see the call for contest hand signal being given. Foul hand signal being given. Still discussion as to what exactly happened. Here we see the disc go up. It's hard to see from this angle if there was any push on the back. Gonna get another shot at it here. Does look like there might have been a bit of contact.
I don't think there was any push. There was some incidental bumping into one another, I think was all it was. That incidentality, that bumping does sometimes constitute a foul.
But Yulia Lishka could make the argument that she could have maybe jumped a bit higher if that bump didn't come on her. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. We don't have mics on the players right now, so there's a discussion still about this foul. It's a contested foul, so it's going to go back to the thrower. Della Fortri will get another shot.
Disc is coming in at 6. Della Fortri. Engages Pashing and gets her. Travel called.
Foul called, actually.
Foul called. Pashinger, that win picked up. But gets it to Della Fortri. She goes all the way to the other sideline, gets it complete. The sideline closes down and the swing pass is dropped. Cranes can't hold on.
As we hear exuberance behind us as Ireland goes up 10-9 against GB, I believe that would have had to have been a break for them.
It's all happening here at Windmill.
Behind us, we also see, I believe that's Italy versus the Condors as Austria get another break. 11-8, I think, in the favor of the Condors. So much great ultimate out here, Stefan.
Every game's a good game. Pashinger picks up Della Fortri, but that throw gets too much wind influence. Sophia Eklund. Squeaks it through the middle. Bjornberg. Bjornberg again. Middle, Sophia Eklund on the near sideline right in front of our cameras. Centering. London God floats. It looked like there may have been a second chance opportunity, but knocked away. Pashinger sends it deep. Della Fortri long jumps in for a goal.
What a picture-perfect throw there from Pashinger, who also got the D, helping out her team on both sides of the field, and that's another break for Austria as they extend their lead to 11-7, getting out against a 4-point lead here now, Stefan.
Picking it up in the second half, keeping the momentum in their favor.
Looks like up next on the stream we'll have Wusu Wei, the team coming over from China, playing against Kanye 2020 from the United States. I think it looks like on the other side there is Hässliche Erdferkel and the Panas Ultimate Dream Team warming up, but I also see Hrut warming up, so I'm not sure exactly what the other stream is going to be. But keep it tuned here on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching. Share it with your friends. Tell people there's great ultimate all weekend here at Windmill.
Share it, like it, tag it, comment, all that stuff. Get her done. Be social media socially responsible to ultimate. Sweden, crack through the zone, break it right open. Now they're on the front foot. Lindstrom, oh, the defense closes on her intended look. Linkvist. Meisel settles in on the mark, get the under. Lindroth rather. Linkvist. Under's coming, but Meisel peeled out to help. Now on the doorstep, Linkvist is there. Swedes put another one on the board.
11-8 now, Austrians still in the lead. Swedes did look good that offensive point, though. They have had moments of brilliance, just been consistency has been their main issue as Austria's tried to mix things up against them. So 11-8, Sweden not out of this one yet.
Swedes pull. Austrians collect. Meisel calls the zone. Offense adjusts. Meisel gets it back. Shot to end zone. Defenses are well read. Ruthner makes it count. Huge throw. Austria chip away back and forth in their end zone a couple times and then blow it wide open with a bomb.
Austria looking very solid here with a 12-8 lead in this game. I wouldn't call Sweden out though yet. They could still claw their way back a few more points. I mean, I think that Austria kind of have the win locked up, but again, as we've said over and over and over again, in Swiss draw, every point matters for that final ranking, so Sweden still has to fight hard here, and Austria still has to fight hard to get as big of a gap as they can. What have been some highlights of the other games you've called so far today, Stefan?
I almost forget them as they happen, Ravi. What did I watch? Oh, I saw the Cosmic Girls Heist. That was a great game. Saw some.
Who came out on top of that one?
Cosmic Girls
Oh, yeah?
by 2 in the end, 2 or 3 in the end. They were always in front, dictated the pace. Heist brought it within 1 a couple times, but never really evened it up. Couldn't get ahead. The chemistry the Cosmic Girls had kind of out-dueled the gun players and the pickupness that that Heist are here with. Sweden now in the attacking half, looking for anything. High stall count, super high stall count. Shot to far in front.
I think that was a stall 9 punt.
Yeah, good pressure on the D. So, Linda picks up the disc. Deep vertical stack out of the Austrians.
We do see the Swedes no longer playing that zone defense, going back to match. And it pays off for them as that disc is a little too high.
Cranes can't handle it. The Austrians scrambling to get back on defense, though they managed to get it done. Turn to goal, that one counts. Robbins collects for Sweden. 9-12.
Not out of this one yet. We'll just take a little bit of a run, but so far not been able to really stop the Austrian offense too much. A couple breaks here and there, but still been a very solid performance by the Austrians. Yeah, I called Devon versus Heidi's earlier today. Devon way out in front of that one. Wasn't really a close matchup.
Really?
Yeah.
What else did I do? What was my first game? It'll come.
It'll come. Of course, it's going to be 2 streams per round all weekend long.
Until
Giving you
the
14
finals.
games today, 14 games tomorrow, and then we're going to probably, I'm not sure if we're doing the morning rounds on Sunday yet, but we'll definitely have the 3 finals for you on the big stadium field with a huge crowd. It's always a great time here at Windmill. They make sure everyone finishes nice and early. So there's a huge crowd, everyone getting beers, getting barbecue, enjoying some of the highest class ultimate that Europe has to offer. You see a big horizontal stack here from the Austrians trying to open up a lot of space in front of the disc. So far working out well with 2 incredible gainers.
In the attacking zone, Austrians trying to get it to Meisel. Have to go deep to do it in their own end.
I like that Meisel-Eklund matchup. Great snag there.
Meisel just throws it straight into the front of the stack and gets away with it. Wolfsteiner now looked at the hammer for a hot second and decided not. Meisel goes up line. And the throw to no one, back of the end zone. Didn't have the right curve on it. even for the friendly break release.
Unfortunate there. The play worked out just as it was drawn up. Two huge gainers with all the space they opened up with that deep, deep, deep horizontal stack. But then afterwards, a little bit too risky in the end zone.
Lundegard. Sophia Eklund centers. Hovgard. Lundegard. Ooh, up and over. Defense is there, but not going to make a difference. Eklund fires deep. She's all alone. It's going to count. The defense gets there late. And Molly Robbins collects a goal for the Swedes.
That's a break, Stefan, bringing it back to within two. 12-10 now the score as Sweden is not giving up. I really like that fight. I really like fighting for every single point, which is so important here. Sweden 12-10. One little run away if they can get Austria a little frustrated here and force Austria into those unfortunate throws. That's been how all the turnovers have come from Sweden, is by playing a type of defense that forces Austria into a lot of throws, and eventually they make a panicked throw or a rush throw close to the end zone. Sweden has to keep that up. Make these defensive points long as you can until Austria gets fed up. Keep switching things up. Last point was person to person. I wouldn't be too shocked to see if they would come out on a zone here. They've been person to person the last few points, and they like to keep mixing things up, keeping Austria guessing.
Lundegard launches. Meisel and Rothsteiner take things the other way. Zenz. Ooh, over Wolfsteiner's head. Sweden. This would be tasty for them right now.
If they can manage this one break, they would be on a roll.
Side to side and backwards first, then some up line gainer. Hovgard gets it moving. Hovgard gets it back. Directing traffic with her nodding head.
Very patient, long, big stall count.
Breaks over the shoulder with a backhand. Centering Sarah Eklund, shoots for goal. Defense is charging in, but O had position. Lindroth gets up and brings it to within 1 point, Ravi.
What a shocker after as much as a 4-point deficit, I think twice in this game. Sweden not giving up, and Austria just making a few mistakes, and Sweden looking a lot better in the red zone. I think that's also a big improvement they've had so far. They've been able to score the opportunities when they've gotten the disc close to that attacking end zone.
They're sneaky about their comeback. They're doing it kind of, I didn't even really see it happening, and I'm calling the game.
Sneaky Swedes, they call them.
Yeah, just little adjustments here and there. There is our end of game jingle.
So that's the end of the game. So this will be the last point of this game, even if it's a draw. So it's either going to be a 13-11 or 12-12 matchup here. I would be, if Sweden get this break, man.
It's a robbery. They robbed the points from Austria. If they can pull this off, like I said, to sneak back in just before the timeout buzzer goes, to be within one and have a chance to play for a tie in a game they kind of got outplayed the whole duration.
So 12-11. Can Austria keep their cool and keep this win, or will Sweden be able to shake things up, come back from a 4-point deficit to make it a draw? Things getting exciting here on the show pitch. Austria, again with the big horizontal stack, making a lot of room for the undercut. Sandra Lindqvist there, recognizing that and trying to shut down the under, though I believe a foul is being called on Sandra Lindqvist. Uncontested foul. So the stall will be reset to 1.
Meisel, Eklund, marquee matchup on the field right now. Meisel Centers, Wolfsteiner. She puts it straight away. Della Fortre's there. There's company. Defensive end. Della Fortre reads it best, but slips through the fingers.
Great defensive pressure there by the Swedes, and now Sweden have a chance to make this game a draw, Stefan. And how they've been playing their offense so far, I would not be surprised. They've been playing a lot more solid, as we see there. Della Fortre not able to grit that one in. Great defensive pressure. And we see Della Fortre has switched off, and now she's on Eklund.
Disc is in. Sweden with a chance to tie this game. They've been behind all game long. Sophia Eklund centers underneath. Sarah Eklund picked that up with her backhand.
She did. I thought she missed it with her front hand and then grabbed it with her left. Wow. Amazing. We're going to see a replay on that. That is up, my friends. That is up. Great grab there by the Eurostar.
The intense end of game jingle music gets louder.
That's the 2 minutes left for the next game already. As Sarah Eklund is looking to do what many would have thought impossible, come back from a 4-point deficit to make this game a draw.
Lindqvist winding up every which way, gets it to Tern. And Sophia Eklund. Sweden playing in their own end, centering. Larson. Swedes looking calm, cool, and collected. Sarah Eklund gets it back. Della Fortre gets a hand on it. There's a foul on that transaction.
I think Eklund is arguing the disc was still in her hand when she threw it. Della Fortre not happy about that. We'll see here on the replay what we can see. It's going to be tough, so I think it's behind the camera. I think Eklund still had her hands on the disc when Silka slapped it down.
I would.
So the stall is going to 0. We see smiles on Della Fortre's face. This is a great battle, great matchup between two fantastic European powerhouse countries. Look at all the pressure on this disc, Stefan. It's all going to come down to this.
Hard working for the under. Tern gets the disc, goes across Sophia Eklund. Get to midfield, but not successfully. Disc gets in front, and they can't get the break on the first try.
Sandra Lindqvist not able to catch that one. So now Austria with another chance to make this game a win.
Here they come, Pashinga. Ruth Nab all the way. Della Fortre again, but gobbled up by Sarah Eklund. Eklund centers. Larson's been getting a lot of looks in this point. Moves it on. Who works hard, does Grandal, to stay under that.
A pick is called. But a lot of pressure here. Austrians are not wanting to give this up.
Disc is in. Grandal's hands now to Eklund. Della Fortre tight on her. Good matchup there. Tern, pick called. Disc is in. Eklund. Lindqvist looked at the big, didn't take it. Sends directly up line. The defense comes under. Lindqvist gets it back. She's looking at the end zone. Not quite yet. Larson's got it dead center, meters out.
Can they do it, Stefan?
Well, Lindqvist has to lay out to keep it alive. Can they do it? Will be answered any second. There's the hammered Eklund, not in still. Really on that doorstep. 30 centimeters out. Blady hammer blammer for the win.
That's not for the win, that's for the
tie.
tie.
For the tie, the win in their books.
Will be the end score of this game. And that'll do it here.
You'd think that would do it, but it looks like they're getting ready to play another point.
Austria! It's game over. So that'll do it here for coverage of this third round of Swiss draw. What a game, what a comeback from the Swedes, Stefan. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to run because I have to go play my game in the mixed division now, but I had a lovely time commentating this game with you. Stick around. Kanye 2020 versus Wusoo Wei coming up next on this stream.